Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with? That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're an Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead, make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
ABC's 2020 put 20 of the blackest and whitest male and female names to the test, posting identical resumes with different names on the top, posting these resumes with different names on the top. Those with white-sounding names were downloaded 17% more often by job recruiters than the resumes with black-sounding names. So the names that sounded white were downloaded 17% more often by job recruiters than the resumes with black-sounding names. Anybody surprised? No, I don't think anyone is surprised by this. I want you to hear some of the black-sounding names. Here are some of the black names that they put on these resumes. And let me know if there's one that you would hire if this resume came through your office or business. Here are some of the black-sounding names that were at the top of these resumes. And remember, the white resumes, it was the same resumes for both black and white. I had to ask Kelly to help me. This first name is Imani Ebony. Would you hire anyone by the name of Ebony? Doesn't that sound like a magazine or something? What is this? Shanice. Shanice. Would you hire Shanice if you saw her resume and you knew it was a black? Aaliyah. Precious. I don't even know why. There was this really fat black woman in a movie called Precious. And there was nothing precious about her. She didn't look precious. She didn't act precious. Why would a mother name her child Precious? Nia? Do these names sound black to you when you hear? They do, huh? Yep. Nia, Diamond, Asia, Deshaun, DeAndre, Trayvon. I definitely won't hire a Trayvon kind of a guy. No. And Deja. So these were the black names that were on the resume, examples of the black names that were there. And they didn't get hired. 17% more white-sounding names were downloaded for job recruiters than the black-sounding names. I've often said, and I will continue to say, that if I got these resumes and they had these black-sounding names on their resume, I wouldn't hire them either. I would not hire these people because I would know already that I would have trouble, especially if I had white employees working for me. These black-sounding names are coming from people who hate white folks, and they think they're getting away from the white-sounding names. And so what they're doing is setting their children up for failure in America. That's what these parents are doing to their children. So what I recommend to blacks who are stuck with these names because your parents was so foolish that they gave you black-sounding names, holding you back in life, change your name, your first name at least. You can hold on to your last name. That way you still identify with your folks. But get rid of these black-sounding names so that you can succeed in America. There are foreigners who come over here to this country, and they change their first names because they realize that their names are going to hold them back. Use common sense, folks. If you hire these black-sounding names, you're not going to have anything but conflict in your office or business. 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment.
I got something that I must tell. Last night, someone rang our doorbell, and it was not you, my part-time lover.
There's a line open, 888-775-3773. Let's go to my friend Gene out of Connecticut. Welcome to the show, Gene.
Jesse, thanks for having me.
Did you have a good Father's Day weekend?
It was excellent. It was excellent. Thanks for asking.
Right on.
I just want to make a quick comment about these black names. I mean, I had a white coworker come up to me and say, hey, you know what? I got a question for you. Why do black people have strange names? And I said, well, why do you say that? He goes, like, these names like DeAndre and Shaquisha and Shantae and things like that. I said, you know what? It's foolish. Black folks take on these extraordinary names that have they can't justify why the names are there. They're not biblical. They're not biblical names. Yeah. They have no rhyme or reason. Even Africans. I mean, you're connected. They want to connect to the African roots, but these aren't even African names.
That's a good point.
So it doesn't even make any sense. These are just names they threw together just because, to deflect away from the establishment, like you said, Jesse.
Yeah, these are black racists who trying to disassociate themselves with white Americans, and they're just gone crazy and creating these dumb names. And I don't know why any firm or company or business would take a risk in hiring these people. What they're saying with these names is that I am a racist, I don't like white folks, so why would anyone just bring this type of confusion into their businesses?
Absolutely. And before I go, black folks, if you're listening, please don't punish your kids. Give them normal names. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome, Gene. I urge black folks, if your parents have been so silly that they have given you a black name, change it. As soon as you become an adult, and if you're already an adult, go and change that name, because it's going to hold you back in life. It really will. The only way you'll succeed with this is that you're going to really have to do something on your own. Because a lot of black and white businesses will not hire you with black names. You're saying in advance that you are racist. 888-775-3773. I'll take the other calls when I come back. Andre asked my engineer here, why can't black people use normal names like Kyle or Henry or George? Instead, they'll use the Laquanda, Shaniqua. What? That doesn't even mean anything, does it? It's not even, it's nothing. I mean, it's all Laquanda. What comes to my mind? It sounds like maybe something in the ocean. What's this? Shaniqua? Shaniqua. What comes to my mind with Shaniqua? I don't know. Blank. In the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, and the laws were against black people, they were not as angry. They at least had sense enough to use biblical names and then white people names, because they weren't angry as black people are today. And blacks are coming up with these dumb names because they're angry, and in their minds they think they're separating themselves from white Americans by doing this. And so in the darkness of their decision making, they're making fools of themselves. They're making it so that their children will not have a chance in this great land. Understand ethnic names, but this is just made up names. From one extreme to another one. This is why you got to overcome your anger, folks, so you can make a good decision. Blacks were not like this prior to the civil rights movement. I want you to know that, just for the most part. Even though the laws were against them, they had common sense. They were not trying to be all like this. They used names like Samuel and biblical names. Names like my name is Jesse. That's not a black name. Black people, don't do this to your children. And children, if your parents have already done this to you, as I said, as soon as you're old enough, change your first name. It doesn't cost that much money. Go back to names like Jesse, Sam, Al, Martin, Booker, Mary, Susan, Alice. That's a nice name. Susie. That's a nice name. I'll be back tomorrow, folks. Thanks for tuning in and calling in. Have a good day.
This has been the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, produced by Bond, Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. Views expressed by guests and callers on today's program may not necessarily represent the views of the station. For more information, call 1-800-411-BOND. That's 1-800-411-BOND. Or visit our website at bondinfo.org.